All right, Charlie, big breaking news right now. CCA. And of course, they be a catchers are here almost every day that there is updates here. The member on here didn't come on. There is huge breaking news on the part of Football Club Barcelona. Chelsea are sending a big 10 million offer for a new midfielder. Hey, Charlie, the way Chelsea looks like in January, almost person fast. Now, almost making sure say players almost pay no million in term now. I'm at the conversation of the January transfer we do know about very, very interesting. Already, in December, Chelsea the first year we go for the young O'Donnell centre back from Team Ayefredo Independiente de la Ville. And now there's a new young central midfielder Chelsea for the Equaco to 10 million for. You may be some coming in your house, of course, the Barcelona updates with the Spotify Camp Nou. I'll give you all of that information on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Also subscribe to the channel and subscribe to the channel. Turn on notification. And the notification turn on Michelle. Do choose all just so anytime your content ever drop, you are first to have it on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Michelle, make sure whilst you enjoy the analysis, you turn on notification, you do choose all one share link. I mean, sure. So yes, I did in your house on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. But first of all, let me say a big thank you to Yesumo Spare Parts Dealership Shop. In this country, the best place for car spare parts is Yesumo. He gives you the best, authentic, original car spare parts. Or Accra Boso kind post office at Yesumo. Michelle Freno on 059-313-8221. 059-313-8221. For Yesumo CCA, let him give you the best of car spare parts. On the other side, MOB clothing. MOB clothing the best set of clothes, the best set of apparel. And MOB open tariye clean, open tariye solid, open sheriako date night, whatever. Then MOB clothing is the guy that you have to go to. He is in Tudu station, a flower station that will Tudu Naho and MOB clothing. I will call him on 0200-668-708. 0200-668-708. I'm sure. Call them right now. Let them make sure say BBR I come Palmer. Obviously, we need to start with Football Club Barcelona and then the conversation around them. So, Becca, in the last few months, the conversation around Barcelona has been said whether they were going to be able to play in that game against Athletic Club at the Spotify Camp Nou. In fact, I've said several times, if Barca really can be financially independent, they need to find ways to make sure that at the end of the day, almost some very good source of revenue. I mean, revenue in terms of Sika Umbenya from elsewhere, revenue in terms of the constant inflow of cash and all of those things. So Barca should be able to get that done. Senegal will be able to get all of that revenue. And that is where they are now. And then in my first video, I did mention to you that Barca were waiting for the license where they will be able to say it's okay, Umbebo in the Spotify Camp Nou as soon as possible. And then they na babedu. And then the Barcelona City Council for the search everything over there. When they went back to them, what it means is that Barca Forum have gotten the green light to play at the Spotify Camp Nou. And the last time Barca bought at the Spotify Camp Nou, Ansumani Fati Eshe Braze. Where is Ansumani Fati in AS Monaco assistant now? Ousmane Dembele was still also a Football Club Barcelona. When you assist, was our game. Gavi scored and assisted. Jordi Alba and Sergio Busquets all played their final matches at home and receiving massive ovation. That was the last time Football Club Barcelona played at the Spotify Camp Nou, and it is a huge game. Barca echo back, who is likely to score Barca's first goal at the new Spotify Camp Nou. And Charlie, what a job Juan Laporta has done at Football Club Barcelona to get the club taken, to get them scoring, to get them, hanging in there in all the stress or the financial instability. Abrana Barca, Pesca, Barca, Hieska, Barca, okay, you making sure say you to players A, B, C, D. Nasika Sema Baba Yenseng Semno. For Abranti Efeno, Juan Laporta to be able to keep the club afloat, manage it and get the success that he got. Because Emma so Barca won the league under Xabi Hernandez, which is a good feat. Barca since then have gone to the Champions League semi-final after a long time out under Hansi Dieter Flick, something that they have struggled to do. So Football Club Barcelona returning to the Spotify Camp Nou, it's a huge one for them. And I think that almost every Barcelona fan is going to be excited. The big question is that who is going to score that goal there? Barca are going to depart the Estadio de Luis Companys. They're trying to tear the Munjik, you know. They are going to leave there and then turn their attention to go and play the Spotify Camp Nou, the new Spotify Camp Nou. That's where Football Club Barcelona are going to get a job. And then it was official. Barca and UEFA are also working together to explore the possibility of hosting Frankfurt after the Chelsea game at the Spotify Camp Nou. Given that most of the necessary requirements have been met, although the club is still awaiting the final confirmation. Barca have gotten things right. They are coming back to the Spotify Camp Nou. You see, I've said it several times. Whether I like it or not, the Spotify Camp Nou is the soul of Football Club Barcelona. On a club on the Fumache. That is where everything was going on at Football Club Barcelona. So for them to be able to go back to the club, to the stadium, and then deliver and then play football consistently and begin to do their things right, tells you some Barcelona are doing something excellently right. When they've received the 1B occupancy license, the match against Athletic Club will have a capacity of 45,000. It means that Barca are not yet going to play in a full capacity for Spotify Camp Nou. What they are going to do, however, is that they are going to play with just 45,000. Then as other works are completed over time, the number of spectators that will come there will also begin to increase. Barcelona, a lot of outlets now. We say, I want to back to our temple. More than 2 years later, Barca are finally back, and in front of it, I'm sure the Tornem Arcasa back to our temple. 22nd November 2025, which is this weekend, Barca are playing against Athletic Club de Bilbao. And in there, they are going to have some good tidings. We are back. I repeat, we are back. Almost everybody affiliated to Football Club Barcelona is excited. Barca will play against Athletic Club at the Spotify Camp Nou. Despite not having the required license yet, Barca have sent the formal request to La Liga to play the match against Bilbao at the Spotify Camp Nou, something that is very, very important for them, of course. And then at the training center also, Barca, we see some players that are coming in terms of recovery. Our brand friend Juan Laporta was, our brand friend Juan Garcia was there. Our brand friend Gavi was there. Mark Barnal, Wojciech Szczesny, Ter Stegen, all of them, because Barca are returning to training. So this weekend they can play against Athletic Club. At this point today, Barcelona are still waiting to see if they get the documents. Of course, like I said, the documents have finally come in, and Barca are going to play their football at the Spotify Camp Nou. What it means is that my branch friend Lamine Yamal, Ibanez Nazari, Rafinha, and your branch your friend Robert Lewandowski all go back to the Barcelona faithfuls. Something that is very, very important for them. Bibia, come, of course. A branch friend Kylian, Luton, Mbappe at the Paris Saint-Germain for court. Now, there has been an update into our story. But first off, let's talk about this. Chelsea still want some more midfielders. Hey, Charlie. So, in the last few days, Chelsea have finalized the deal for a branch friend Daniel Ordonez, young centre-back from Independiente de la Ville. And I Chelsea go for a guy, every year. Now, and I've said it several times that the Chelsea project is still in the same way that it is. What's recently almost everybody that is close to Chelsea have come out to debunk the conversation around the branch of Red Rodrigo goes. And it's because of the Chelsea project. They say players over the years of 2024 will not be bought by the club. 2, they believe that such players have high salaries in wage structure, and it won't work for them. That is why a branch friend Rodrigo goes. Now he was linked to Chelsea. Chelsea still have not gone on to do any deal for a branch friend Rodrigo goes. Now they are looking for much more younger players to come in. And in the search for young players, it started from centre back. That is where Daniel Ordonez, a centre back from Independiente de la Ville, did come in. Now this is a boy. Already there is Malang Sarr, our Strasbourg. There is a branch friend Aaron Anselmino, our Dortmund. There are a lot of other young centre backs. A branch friend Joshua Kofi, a champion, are all there. What Chelsea want to do is that they want to get a pack of solid centre backs at one. Ball on the feet, and also very aggressive and defending front-footedness. And that's why they've gone to sweep up Abrantia, your friend Ordonez, over the back. Whilst that deal was done, Chelsea are not done yet. On the list of that transfer request, They want a central midfielder. They want a DM. They want a centre back. They want also a physical centre forward. In fact, I will not be surprised if Chelsea decide to bring in a branch friend Emmanuel Emega to Stamford Bridge in 2026 in January as to be part of the centre forward style play. If they are going to take a branch friend Mark Gill to go on loan to the lower divisions of English football, they will bring in a branch friend Emmanuel Emega to come and get a job done El Hodham, which is very, very important. Now, this young centre midfielder Chelsea pinning is just off the back of the conversation of Romeo Lavia injuries, where the club feels like they need to give Romeo Lavia time to develop and recuperate his energy and get back to full fitness. If that is the case, they don't have to put pressure on him. Just so not to put pressure on our branch friend Romeo Lavia and T. Chelsea are looking for some much more quality in the middle of the pack. And this morning, ESPN4 reported story. We said Chelsea wanted to do a swap deal of Romeo Lavia and Alejandro Garnacho. I don't think that was true. I do not believe that story at all. Said Chelsea wanted to do a swap deal of Abrantia, your friend Alejandro Garnacho, and Abrantia, your friend Romeo Lavia, El Hodham. That is it. But the young centre forward, centre midfielder, Chelsea Tonono, or boy player or boy in the Brazilian league also. And my catch the story of a branch friend Andre Carey. Now Andre Carey is a scout that used to work for Barcelona for a very long time. He was the one who was the intermediary for the deal for a branch friend Victor Roque. He has worked with the Barcelona Interact for a very long time. And for a while now, when Chelsea decided that they wanted to enter the South American market, he was the man they contacted. Omukachi Abrantia, your friend of Andre Carey, said they want one of the best players, and that is how they got Abrantia, your friend Estevao Willian, to come to Chelsea. And mind you, Estevao and Abrantia friend Endrick were all players that Chelsea were looking at probably getting, and then to make sure everything was going to go on well. But Chelsea did not get Abrantia friend Endrick, and now they're focused on Abrantia friend Estevao, and everybody is beginning to accept. So in the contest of the best player, the Brazilian national team, Estevao Willian is beginning to warm up and map up and get to the level of Abrantia friend of Vinicius Jr., something that is very important and intriguing. And Chelsea have sent a 10 million offer to Cruzeiro to test the waters for 17-year-old Brazilian midfielder Felipe Morales. This is the boy at Chelsea Forum have paid the money to go and get, even though the teenager holds 100 million release clause for overseas clubs. Barcelona have also asked about Morales, but Barcelona needs and show more. Almost come to your crown and you be almost stadium now. Sika baza for tears and you be almost stadium now. But just shows wait to play and say. Matis about Alex Romano near there, they need an So what we've heard is that a branch here, your friend of Philippe Morales, Moraes, he is the boy that Chelsea have paid 10 million to Cruzeiro to go and get the young Brazilian midfielder. So I'll be Jiren Fifi, one of them, a control game, ball reception. I mean, the reception under pressure, the ball retention, almost everything that you will get from a player, that is good because already Chelsea are being successful in Brazil. In the last few days, Carlo Ancelotti, who is the coach of the Brazilian national team, has been speaking about Estevao Willian. Now, Carlo Ancelotti said he is a very talented player. He is able to show every game in Chelsea too, that he doesn't need a lot of minutes to show his quality. He can play 5 minutes and he can show his quality. I think the Brazil national team is really lucky to have Estevao Willian. That's all Carlo Ancelotti echo about him. Chelsea want to add a brand here, your friend of Philippe Cruzeiro, Philippe Moraes to add to that partner on him. He's a CM, ambipedal in the sense that he can play both with both feet which something that Chelsea are very, very keen on. A midfielder that can play almost every part on the ball, off the ball. That is something that Chelsea are interested in. In fact, he's a boy that has 100 million release clause out Brazil. But Chelsea have said that they won't pay 100 million. I'm going to a friend Philippe Moraes now. I'm going to buy Chelsea. I'm going to buy somewhere 10 million. And I'm going to test the waters now. I'm going to 10 million. Then they will see if they'll be able to get the boy and bring him to Chelsea. So maybe a boy a team a game or and also be the backup to Abrantia, your friend Romeo Lavia, our team in him, which is very important. And then, Metese Basta for no Eka say, Abrantia friend Pedro Gonzalez is going to be fit for the Chelsea game. It'll be a very, very interesting so game at Chelsea. Any team, my friend Barcelona by about Champions League. It's just next week, Chelsea versus Football Club Barcelona. Very, very interesting game, and also between the two teams. We are going to see how it's going to go, how it's going to be, so much, and it'll be very, very interesting between the two teams. I'm right here, friend, Philip Morales, you won the 29th of August 2008 in 2017, or your Brazilian 1.73 meters, and I'm right here, he plays for Cruzeiro. Like I said, he can play as a 6, he can play as a right-sided 8, a left-sided 8. He has some very good goal contributions. This season, about 14 games, just 1 goal, 1 assist. The disciplinary record, a good on the red card, and also any yellow card. Brazil under 20, Bobia the Amon also several times when Brazil under 20 he is a regular name in that team, and that is Abrantia, your friend Philippe Morales at Chelsea for an 8-year, 10 million to Cruzeiro to bring him into the club. Very, very important. We'll see how things are going to go on from there. Also, Abrantia friend Nicholas Jackson. And Nicholas Jackson today is in buying for, and according to CF Buy and say, Charlie, they are not going to maintain Abrantia friend Nicholas Jackson. But me, I don't have a problem with Nicholas Jackson. If Chelsea can agree and let Nicholas Jackson stay at Chelsea, I think Nicholas Jackson is an important player. I think Nicholas Jackson adds a lot of things to the Chelsea team if you're able to get him there. Bayern have no intention at the moment to trigger Nicholas Jackson's buy option. However, he is still expected to stay to the end of the season. That is what CF Bayern Eka says. You see, Bayern for in your margin said they are going to keep Abrantia friend Nicholas Jackson as it stands now. But they're expecting that he's going to be there to the end of the season. They're expecting, say, Abrantia friend Nicholas Jackson is going to be in there, and they're going to have some very, very good conversation in terms of the kind of football non-personal born and it's money, and that's all they are saying. Say Ebeko so on, but then again, they are not going to have Abrantia, your friend Nicholas Jackson, full force our team, our football club. But I mean, Oshe, how Chelsea was supposed to move on with Abrantia friend Nicholas Jackson, the metrics that he should have met before he became a Bayern player, adding. For you to say that Nicholas Jackson has to be able to score 40 goals in a game, adding. Abrantia friend Liam Delap in an interview, pretty much amateur one, beside Abrantia friend Liam Delap said, who is the most difficult defender in the about together? And also Abrantia friend Morello. He says Morello is the most difficult defender he's played against. At Forest, I've played against Van Dijk, but I think that's the stereotypical answer. Obviously, he is top, but I really like Morello. That's exactly what Abrantia, your friend Liam Delap Eka said, Charlie. He is a player that he has really suffered when he's playing against him. We'll see how things are going to go on from there. When it comes to the quality of Abrantia, your friend, Abrantia friend Liam Delap and his favorite centre back. And Alan Shearer series James, the England choice of the right back. As he say there, England right back on James. I think he would probably be the first choice at the moment. At the minute, Trent is not getting much football, but Trent has his best. At his best is, what the player gives you, and it gives you different options. I think that's going to be a good thing if England are able to get 2 of them. It's going to be very, very important. We'll see how things are going to be in that regard. On a former Chelsea midfielder Oscar, he was hospitalized in the last few days. His Abrantia friend Oscar has been taken away from the hospital and then Kofi. Now he's in a stable condition, which is a very, very good one. We'll see how things are going to be for Abrantia, your friend Oscar, and Abrantia, your friend Nicholas Jackson. Whether Nicholas Jackson will be able to stay at Football Club Bayern Munich by the end of the summer, and I say it's not going to be possible, and he has to move on from there. We'll see how things are going to pan out on him. Of course, after the window, Chelsea play a big one against Burnley at the Turf Moor. It's a game that Chelsea has to find a way to win. Okwa way to relegation threatened Burnley or Turf Moor, yeah, you need to find a way to get a success. You need to find a way to get a win against team and friend Burnley. When you win it, yeah, then that's a very, very good one. The very, very good one. When Chelsea gets the winner, it gives them the maximum 3 points to go into games and then be very confident in terms of how they want to play their game. And very, very important to them for them to sort things out. And for Chelsea to go in there and then sort things out. On the ATN says Willian, as it stands now, everybody's still talking about him. On beside Joao Pedro, about the favorite players from the various countries. On beside, I say, who is his favorite player from Belgium? Abranti friend Joao Pedro say, Eden Hazard, and a favorite player from Belgium. Now they asked him again, so who's his favorite player from England? I say Abranti friend Cole Palmer, Germany, Pascal Grob, Italy. I say Abranti your friend Pilo. On beside for Netherlands, I say Memphis Depay, Portugal, Joao Pedro Neto, and Spain. I say Abranti friend Marco Correa. Those are some of the tidbits that Michael Corsi in preparation for the games that's going to go on in terms of how Chelsea want to prepare more matches and all of those things. No, it's very, very important. Very, very important that Chelsea sort out all of these things in terms of the conversation of how things are going to go on from there. Chelsea want to know, say as they return from international break and you have to go back and go and get a job done. People have been linking Abrantia, your friend Adam Watson to Chelsea, but I don't agree. I don't agree. Say Adam Watson is linked to Chelsea. Abrantia friend Adam Watson, he can never be. He can never be a Chelsea. He can never be a Chelsea player. I've said this every time because he's a 6 who is not secured on the ball. Abrantia friend Adam Watson is not a player that can really do the job. It's very, very important. Say we'll see how things are going to go. Madrid, Dean Heitson has no serious injury as Madrid defender will be available against Elche. Same for Camavinga and Mbappe. All of them are expected to play. So both Eduardo Camavinga and Abrantia friend Kalen Luton, Mbappe, are all fine and they're expected to go and play this weekend when team and friend of football club Real Madrid go on to go and play this weekend game. Our Spanish La Liga is expected to say these players are going to be fit to go and play. And just this afternoon, breaking news at Eba, and they say Abrantia friend Ademola Lookman on Galatasaray shortlist for the January window. Not the only name, as more clubs are keen on the Nigerian. So it was in the summer, and Ademola Lookman tried to move from Atalanta to go and play elsewhere. But it didn't work out for him. It was Inter that was on the bill. They convinced that Inter wanted to go on and then go and do the job for Abrantia friend Ademola Lookman. That didn't happen. What we've heard, and they say Abrantia friend Ademola Lookman now, some of the teams being said Galatasaray are very much interested in doing a deal for Abrantia friend Ademola Lookman to come in and come and do the job for them as a center, a winger, or anyone. Of course, Nicholas Fulkrug is set to leave West Ham in January as his chapter at the club is over. Coach, your friend, Nuno Espirito Santo is not a big fan of Abrantia, your friend Nicholas Fulkrug, our teamer, your friend West Ham United. It's not going to happen for him. It's not going to happen for him at all. And yeah, there's no way they're going to get that player. We'll see how things are going to go in that regard when it comes to the players that are moving from where to where. Players are acquiring funny, players are buying fun. We'll see how things are going to go on from there. It's very important. So how things are going to go on from there. Guys, let's draw the cats in our house on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Say, who subscribe to the channel and subscribe, turn on notification. And the notification turn them show. Do choose all. And then make sure say anytime your content ever babiano, or be first person I will subscribe on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube.